Good evening, sir.
So good evening to one and all present over here. So it is nice to see all of you and in a single platform. So I welcome you all for this Friday virtual seminar of the Institute of Mathematics and Applications. So today we have a different topic, not in especially in mathematics. We are going to discuss about some of the what you will do after your masters or undergraduate or postgraduate. So today we have four speakers. So let me introduce first one by one. So first, I would like to introduce Dr. Tattwamasi Amrutam, who was a alumni of this institute. So he has done his BSc in IMA from 2011 to 14. Then he has done his MSc in from IIT Bombay from 14 to 16. Then he joined PhD in the University of Houston, USA from 2016 to 21. Currently, he is working as a postdoctoral fellow at Ben-Gurion University, Israel. So now I am going to introduce the second speaker of the day, Dr. Pratik Misra, who is also an alumni of this institute. He has done his BSc from IMA from 2011 to 14. Then he has done his MSc from IIT Madras from 14 to 16. And then he has done his PhD, recently completed his PhD from North Carolina State University, USA. And currently he is doing his postdoctoral work at KTS, Royal Institute of Technology, Sweden. And if you go to our institute web page, you will find a online seminar page. There you can see that Pratik Misra is the first speaker of our this virtual seminar. Now I am going to introduce the next speaker of the day, Pratyush Kumar Mishra, who is also an alumni of this institute, BSc from this IMA from 2011 to 14. Then he has done his MS from Aizer Mohali from 14 to 17. Then he joined as a PhD student at North Dakota State University, USA. Currently, he is also pursuing his PhD, not yet completed. And the last speaker of the day is Prayagdeep Parija, who is also a BSc student of IMA from 11 to 14. And then he did his MSc from Chennai Mathematical Institute 2014 to 16. And recently he is pursuing his PhD at the University of Wisconsin, USA. So today's topic is on career opportunities for undergraduate and postgraduate students in mathematics. And this session is like a discussion session. So first, Tattwamasi will say something about these opportunities. Then we have four speakers. So if you have any questions, you can also in between you can stop us and ask your queries, so that this will be a fruitful discussion. And I am sorry to inform you that we cannot accommodate more than 100 people at this platform because this is not a licensed version. So sorry to inform you all this, but you can inform your friend that all these things are recorded and it will be soon we will upload in YouTube, so you can see all this discussion there also. So you will also benefit from there. So with this the introduction, I would like to introduce I would like to call Dr. Tattwamasi to start the session.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the introduction, sir. Actually, all of us, Prayag is not here, so Pratyush and I will take turns. I mean, we'll speak together in a way. And like Sudhanshu has said, please feel free to stop us in between if you have any questions. So what we have in the slides is a very general version of. We looked at your questions that you sent us, and then based on that, we try to make it as general as possible. But if you see that your questions are missed, then please stop us in between. So Pratyush, do you want to speak? This is the class slide.
Sorry. So maybe yeah. Thank you, Sudhanshu sir, for the introduction. And yeah, it's really an honor to be here to talk to people from all over Orissa, and not only from IMA. So let's start. Maybe I'll just go through the slides. We all prepared it together in last couple of days. Maybe we missed something we are not aware of. So please feel free to stop by and ask questions or whatever you have on basically the career opportunities or anything related to the topic. Yeah, maybe then I'll just go through this first page. Then I'll leave the next couple of page and Pratik and Tattwa, and we all can just go. We'll keep tracking over the slides because it's just a talk which is supposed to be spoken by four of us. Although unfortunately Prayag is not here. So preparing for examinations in India. Mainly, basically, for people who are graduating with the undergrad degree or BSc in Mathematics and Computing from IMA. It's always good to start early to prepare for the exams and for the master's program or for the PhD program, whatever you have. So first step to do this that we learned in our times is to study to form a group. So not to form a group of at least 3 or 4 people or 3 or 4 students, and who like all of them should be like they should have a common goal towards preparing for the same notion of exams like JAM, PIFR, NBHM, and then just start solving, like getting used to the concepts. So we'll go over the books even in more details in the upcoming slides. So just for the overview, you can here you can start basically form a group and then solve problems from previous year questions of JAM, PIFR, NBHM, NBHM, MAMAC scholarship, PhD scholarship, NET, HU, CMI, ISI, and GATE. You can in fact solve almost like 80 to 90% of most of the questions from NET and GATE even at the undergrad level, because the concepts are not, they don't vary much. They are a bit advanced for sure, but you can do like almost many problems, like 80% of the problems from MSc level exams as well. I mean, exams which are held at after MSc for PhD. So yeah, and focus more on solving problems and understanding the concepts. Yeah, that's what we did. So that's what we would recommend others to do as well. So try to rigor yourself with solving more and more problems as much as you can. That really helps you understand the theorem as well as the concept better at the end actually. And yeah, start early. Start as soon as you can actually. Like by early, I mean you should have a vision by end of second year, maybe if you are in BSc. That by vision, I mean you should have some basic knowledge about real analysis, algebra, and all the basic concepts. So once you have that, then you should start solving problems from all these examinations. Or it's better actually if you can start even early. So it's up to you. So by early we mean basically second year, especially somewhere in between second year. That's what we mean by starting early. But yeah, we leave it to the audience. Like some people, they can start right away in the first year as well. Yeah, maybe I will stop and I'll ask Pratik to introduce himself and go in the next slide.
Hello everyone. So this is Pratik. I mean, as Pratyush said, so it's good to like prepare early and like so mainly you required to like look into like the question papers, the previous year question papers, especially for NBHM, because like the pattern doesn't really change a lot, and like if you like practice like maybe like 7 or 8 years, the question papers of like 7 or 8 years earlier, it'll be like really easy for you to crack NBHM, MMSC at least. And something that worked for us personally as a group was to like form a group of 4 people, and like what we did was we each prepared 5 problems in the night, and like in the morning when we meet, we just like exchange our questions and just solve them, so that and every day we are basically solving 20 problems. So in that way, and every one of us like prepared the questions from different subjects. So in that way, it actually helped us to like cover like more problems in a day, basically. So that is something. I mean, personally, it worked for us. So it's not necessarily that it'll work for everyone. It depends up to you, but this is something that you might practice if you want. So I don't think I have access to the slides, Tattwa. So maybe you can just.
Yes, just to add on this, that there's this common misconception. I mean, there's a feeling that sometimes when we go to solving problems, that there's a feeling that we may not know the concepts well, so I have to read the book again and again. I mean, I should tell you that it never happens that you're going to completely like you're going to have this stage. You're going to reach this stage where you'll have a feeling that, okay, I understand everything now. This never happens. So every time you read a book, you'll see something new. So it is good to, once you read something, once you read a theorem, it's good to go from problems to theorems rather than from theorems to problems. I mean, this will help in solving the problems more and understanding the concepts as well. Just to add on what Pratik and Pratyush said.
Definitely. So there's something that we thought about, like studying abroad in like mainly in US and Canada, because we don't really have much experience in the Europe, in the countries in like the universities in Europe. But something that is required for like mainly for like PhD programs in US and Canada after your MSc. So it's basically giving the two exams, which is like GRE General and the TOEFL exam. So this is something which will be like essential for every university in US and Canada. Well, Canada, some universities might ask you to just give IELTS and not GRE, but IELTS is somewhat similar to TOEFL, so the preparation won't really differ a lot. And some books that we found was important for us while preparing was mainly the ETS guide to the GRE General Test. So this has like a lot of questions, including both the English and the math section. So try to go through the book. And for the English section, I would suggest the Balanced GRE. So that's like it's like it mainly is focused on the English section and not the math part. And there's a main book for English, which is like the Balanced Essential Words for GRE. So this is basically a collection of like 800 words. And I would say, I mean, it was essential for me personally to like learn all the words, because it was important, to be honest. So it depends. Like if you're like good enough in English, you might not require for these 800 words, but I would recommend to like go through that book once. And for TOEFL, we had like a book called Princeton Review TOEFL. So that collection has like a CD in between, which gives you like a practice test for like 7 or 8 practice tests. So what you can do is like maybe you can form a group and like correct each other's solutions. So and like basically grade each other. So in that way, you'll be able to know like where you stand and like where you're lacking, and like prepare accordingly. Now, for the GRE subject test, well, most of the universities do ask for the GRE subject test, but some of them do not. So I would recommend.
Sorry, Pratik, I'd like to interrupt you. I would like to add a point in the TOEFL section here. So for like there are 4 sections in TOEFL, like reading, writing, listening, and speaking. So in order to improve your like speaking and listening skill, it's better to like go over some YouTube videos like B2C documentary or some American videos, that which are like freely available. Some documentary on American history, maybe, to get used to the American accent, and because that's how we learn, right? So since inception, we are not used to the American accent, and we are not used to the language. So that's a barrier that I found difficult while preparing and while listening to the American videos. So yeah, that's a point that I would like to add. Yeah, please go ahead, Pratik.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. I mean, like if you feel like you're struggling, there are like a lot of sources. Like YouTube is the first source, I would say. So like just make yourself accustomed with the accent, so that will help you like clear the TOEFL exam. Now for the GRE subject test, it's a bit tricky in the sense like we thought like solving previous year questions would actually help us, but to be honest, I mean there's a book for GRE subject test that did not really help us a lot. But the previous year question papers were actually good. So maybe you can just find a source to find out the previous year question papers and like just solve them. And like you need to be updated with the pattern because it kind of changes every 2-3 years and a couple of years. So we're not really sure like what exactly to suggest because it might change from year to year. And something that we learned the hard way, I would say, is to have a good CGPA. In the sense, like while we were preparing, we did not really, to be honest, personally, me, I did not really focus much on the CGPA during my master's. I thought like it won't be that necessary. But to be honest, it is very important because when you're applying for abroad, they do not really know you. They just see what you send. So it's good to have a good CGPA. And I would say recommend like above 9 would be really good. In your undergrad as well as in a master's, try to have a good CGPA along with other preparations. And as we have been saying throughout, it's good to start early. So yeah, so that we can move to the next slide.
Maybe just say a few words about the general sections, like how it has 2 sections. So GRE general test is divided into 2 parts. One is based completely on English, where you are tested on comprehensions and on the words, and the second part is about aptitude. So aptitude, I guess each section carries a weight of 170 points. I don't remember. 170.
Exactly, 170.
170 plus 170, 340 in total.
Yeah, 340. That's true. And then what is a good score here? That varies from university to university, but anything above 315 or 320 is considered a good score for GRE general. And like Pratik pointed out, it's good to know a lot of words, and Barron's essential GRE words is one of them. But I guess you can watch movies or read books to get a hold of. To improve your vocabulary, and the greater the number of words you know, the better off you will be in the preparation for the English section, I guess.
Yeah, so that was something like personally, I felt like I required to know the words because my vocabulary was not that strong. So I basically like kind of mugged up the 800 words that were there in the book. So one way, like it's really difficult to be honest, but there's something called a mnemonic dictionary, so that you can find it on online. So that really helps you to like remember the words because they break it up, the meaning, and like relate to a way that you can actually remember it. So that is something that you can try as well. So that's called a mnemonic dictionary, so that you can look it online, and that will help you for the essential words.
Also, I would like to add another point. There is a mobile, there are a few apps, many actually. There is something called Mongoose app, where you can, that's basically, you can just keep going through the words, like in your free time, whenever you are browsing some internet or anything. Like whenever in our free time, what we do is like, we just go over our phone, right? So like you are playing some game, so there are multiple choice questions. So it's a free app, so you can just download Mongoose. So that was pretty helpful to me as well. So that has a different label of, so that tests your vocabulary, in fact teaches vocabulary at different levels. It has level 1, it starts with level 1, 2, and it goes through, I think, 20 or something. And it covers a lot of words, lot more than 800, I would say. But you won't even feel actually when you complete the 24th level actually, because some of the words that comes in earlier level, they keep repeating in the next level as well. So in that way, you will get used to that words, and you will have a hold of their usage as well.
Yeah. So I guess
any other questions? Any questions before we go? Somebody is presenting, but.
Okay, so Tata, can you just move on to the next slide?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, this is something that we practiced while applying for the mainly for US universities and Canada universities. So what we did is we send before we apply, we send to the graduate directors of the department something which is called a pre-application. So what is a pre-application? That is basically something that we include we include our CV, our research interests, and our projects that we worked on, and like we kind of like ask the graduate director like what chances that we have of getting into your university. So I mean, it's good to have follow a format. So if you want the format, we can send it to you. Just mail us. And the way it helped us was depending on the, I mean, like not all of them would actually reply you. Like most of them would, but some of them won't. So seeing the reply, we could figure out like what chances we actually had in that university. Like for example, some universities do not really write their GRE requirements, but when we send our CV, including our scores, they just some of them like said to me directly that your score is not good enough, so we'll not be able to accommodate you. So I would say it's good to like send pre-applications before you send your actual application to those universities to get to know like what chances you have to and actually getting into that university. And financially, I would say it's better to apply like 8 to 10 applications because like it's kind of. So what was the cost per application? That's what you remember, like around.
Yeah, I mean, I guess each application would cost somewhere between $80 to $100 or $120, and then to send the GRE and TOEFL scores, it will take another $50 to the respective universities.
Right.
So I guess
so
for each
roughly, I think roughly, I think per university will spend around 10,000 to 12,000 bucks, I guess.
Yeah.
In Indian rupees.
I think Abhipsa has a question.
Yeah,
Abhipsa,
please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Actually, if we don't have a project or not have a good CV, then what should we do?
I mean, are you in your undergrad or in a master's right now?
I'm an undergraduate student.
Okay. So you're planning to like apply for the master's or for your PhD program?
I want to apply for PhD in abroad, not for MSc.
So yeah, I mean, I would say like it's still early days, so you can in your masters basically try to like apart from having a good CGPA, try to do some project with some professor. Like most universities will have that option, like maybe in your third semester or something, third semester or the fourth semester. So in a way that would help you in two ways. First of all, you can write about your project so that like you can basically connect with the professor who actually works in that area in any of the universities. Plus the person that you worked with, he'll be the first person to give you the recommendation. So recommendations is really important. So take the recommendation from him because he'll be knowing more about you, and that will help you in like getting. I mean, it will give you a good chance of getting into some university. So yeah, I mean, I would say try to build on your CV because you have like a lot of years. We have 2 years of MSc and like probably 1-2 years of BSc left. So it's still early days. I would say build on your CV. And yeah, Prag has a good point. Prag, you want to speak?
Sometimes it's nice to have a summer project at an institution outside of your joining. Like you just email to people, let's say in IISc or TIFR, and just go there. Even if you don't get like a IA, like Indian Academy of Sciences fellowship, you just go there with your own money, work with and meet with a professor for every week, and that guy will be a good recommender for you outside your home institution.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Like that will really help you like diversify your recommenders. So yeah, that might increase your chances. So yeah, any other questions?
Pritam has a question, I think. Oh no, somebody else raised his hand.
It was a mistake.
Okay.
So how to choose a
And
good
then
university to apply?
how to choose?
So, yeah, I mean, here you have to like look into like a lot of universities. I mean, first of all, you need to select like what you want to work on. I mean, by the end of your master's, I guess you'll have a fair idea of which area you want to go into. So, I mean, once you know that, you just explore the universities, look at the department, look at their professors, what they're working on. So you need to spend time on that. And
we will go through this point actually in the link section in that AMS program.
Oh, right.
Yeah, we'll go through this in upcoming slides.
So, I mean, eventually you have to select 8 to 10 because you cannot really apply more than that. I mean, you can, but like it'll cost a lot of money. So I would say try to limit it to 8 to 10 applications. And the way to select is like spread it out across different rankings ranging from high to low. I mean, don't just apply to all like high ranked universities. I mean, you might get it, but it's good to like have open choices so that like I mean, I won't say you'll like sure shot get into a university or something, but if you like apply into like some like average universities, which are really good as well, there's a higher chance of you to of getting into those universities rather than like applying all to like higher ranked. And so yeah, the application process includes writing a statement of purpose. So that is something that people over here look into it very seriously. So that is something that you'll have to write about, like your research projects that you worked on and your research interests. That is probably like 3 to 5 pages, I guess. Tattva?
Sorry. Yeah.
So how many pages was the SOP? I forgot.
Three pages. Yeah, three is good. I think 3 to 4.
Yes. Yeah, it's a range of like 3 to 4 pages. Like some universities might just have a word count for that as well. So just follow that, and yeah, so pay more attention to it. And about recommendation, I would say like take the recommendation from someone, like you'll actually require like 3 to 4 recommendations, and it's good to take recommendation from someone who actually knows you and someone like whom you have worked with, so that he can write about you, rather than taking from someone who's like famous but doesn't really know you well. So I would suggest, I mean, that is something that worked for us. I mean, not necessarily like it'll work for everyone, but this is something that we are just like giving it from our experience. So yeah, I mean, any other points you want to add, Tattva and Pratyush?
No, this.
I think this is good.
So I guess Tattva, you can take the next slide then.
Yeah, I guess there's a question that IUC is asking. Do MSc Mathematics Delhi University students get selected? Yes, they do.
Yes,
you can go wherever. You can go wherever you want to go. Actually, so people from Delhi University I've seen a lot of them in University of Houston doing PhD in math. So I mean, actually, they go to better colleges. Actually, I've seen them go to even Ivy Leagues. So it is fine. I mean, the project is not necessarily. I mean, I do not know. Like, as long as you have a good CGPA, because this is how they will eliminate some applications. So all you need to do is ensure that you have a CGPA that does not go below 9 or something. That's a good thing.
Project will be important. I mean, it's not like compulsory or something, but I guess it's good to have a project, because first of all, it will just like help you to realize which area you want to work on. That is something that is important in PhD. And so if you have worked on a project, you can actually write about it in your statement of purpose, so that whenever you're applying, they'll know that this is your research interest, and like they'll see that, okay, we have people working in this area, so it might be a good fit for him to select. So yeah, I mean, that might work in your favor. So I would say like try to have a project. I mean, most IITs would have a project like one specific semester for a project. So probably you have a seminar in the third semester and a project in the fourth semester. So most colleges would have that option, I guess. So I guess it's good to have a project before you apply.
But I think they don't need any project for masters.
Yeah, I mean, of course. For
right?
masters, yeah, I'm not really sure about the master's entry in the US, because I mean, to be honest, we didn't really apply. So yeah, I mean, someone who has actually done it would be a better person to give you advice on that. So yeah, sorry about that.
Again, IOC has another question in the chat. That can you please tell which is better, MSc Math from Delhi University or NIT? I don't know. It's a difficult question to answer. Which is better?
I mean,
I guess Delhi University would be better. Yeah, I think Prayag is agreeing with me. Yeah. Yeah. Delhi University is better. Yeah, Prayag agrees with me.
I agree. I agree with you.
Yeah, actually, I think I don't know for specific in NIT if the teaching is better or anything, but definitely people abroad know DU more than an NIT. So for this specific purpose, definitely DU has a better name. So in that respect, DU might be better, but I don't know like if teaching is better in NIT or like other opportunities better, but definitely people know DU more than NIT here. So that's one in favor of DU.
I guess at the end of the day,
like too much better. It's like
yeah.
It's end of the day, like it depends on like how you perform.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I mean, it doesn't really matter if you go to DU or NIT. I mean, if you're performing well and you're getting good recommendations, and like have a project to work on, like and write about, I guess that will be good enough no matter where you do your master's. So yeah.
And then there's another question that is Pritam is asking. Being a due student, I do not know a professor personally, so what to do about the recommendation option?
That is something that you have to
That
work
is a
on.
problem. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, you have to like connect with the professors over there so that they know you and they can write something about you. So yeah, I mean, yep. There's no alternative to that, I would say. So
Yeah, you should
Pondicherry
like talk to
University,
your professors.
yeah, Pondicherry University is also like a good option for you. I mean, like I have a friend who graduated with me at NC State from Pondicherry University as well.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't really you need to be like a I mean, it's if you cannot get into IIT, that's still fine. I mean, if you're performing well wherever you go, it's good enough, I would say. So yeah, there are a lot of questions in chat.
What is the process to apply for PhD in other countries?
So we'll be getting into that.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. So for Europe, I guess you do not have any exams or anything. You have to give IELTS and all that. And I guess in Europe, the problem is that there is a problem of funding, because most of the times they would ask you to arrange your own funding, and that is a very difficult thing. I mean, you may not entirely get a funding, so you may be half funded or something, and you have to go there. And the other problem that Europe presents is that you do not necessarily have to do a coursework. So you go to the professor directly and start working on your PhD. So it's sometimes this may be detrimental. I do not know personally, but I mean, I know people who have done their PhDs from Europe successfully, so I cannot say. But again, so what you have to do really, Amit, is that you have to mail people in Europe and tell them that you're interested in their work and you have to work with them, and then take it from there.
So yeah, I mean, one more drawback about Europe is that like they expect you to have a publication by the end of your master's. I mean, if you can have that, it's really good. Go ahead and apply to university in Europe. But if you do not have that, I would say you'll have very less chances of getting into it, because they want you to start your research work the moment you join. They won't really give you any time for for coursework and stuff. So they'll generally, if they fund you, they'll fund you for like 3 years or like 3.5 years or so. I mean, that's the general situation, I guess. It might not be true everywhere. So yeah, I mean, that way Europe, universities in Europe is a bit of a problem. So
I would like to just add something to this point. So actually, I mean, I'm really biased to US universities, to be frank. The reason being, I actually, so to be, as from my experience, I'm saying, so if you don't have good CGPA in your masters, I didn't have a really great CGPA, like above 9 or something, but it was fine. So it's even not that difficult to, it's not even that easy to get a 9 in either, you know. So I mean, anyway, I mean, let's not go into that. That's a lame excuse maybe. So I mean, all I'm saying is, if you don't have a good CGPA like above 9 or something, then just blindly, I don't think you should apply in Europe. I mean, yeah, if you have it, then you can apply. The thing is, the getting an offer is not a big deal in Europe. The main thing is the funding. So they actually shortlist candidates, and that's really competitive. If your recommendation is strong, if everything is fine, they do have a reason to like drop you if you don't have a really good CGPA. So, but in the case is completely different in US. If everything is fine, then somewhere something would work, and something. I mean, yeah. I mean, US things are different. I mean, so in that sense, actually, if you don't have a great CGPA, then I would say don't waste your time applying in Europe. I mean, but I'm saying this in quote. Apply at your own. I mean, this is at your own risk. I mean, I'm not like selling anything or advertising anything about US universities. So yeah.
yeah, I mean, like this is something that we are saying from our experience. So it might be that something else that didn't work for us worked for you. So so yeah, I mean, just take this as a guideline rather than like a 100% think fact or something. So yeah, this is something that we're just sharing our experience. So yeah, I guess that's what we can take over from here.
Chandra Mani has a question. Chandra, yeah, please ask your question.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah.
Hi, sir. Are you getting me, sir?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Good evening to everyone, and I really thank you very much for this inspirational source of knowledge what you guys are providing us. So I have a little question that if I qualify TOEFL, does it secures the scholarship, or if I avail the GRE, does it secures the scholarship, or suppose I both I have, then do I have to apply in separate for the scholarship? What are the combinations basically? What are these? I'm a little confused. Can you play it?
So with GRE and TOEFL, there's no really nothing about qualifications. It's about, I mean, you will get a mark at the end of the day. Even if you do not answer anything, you will get something. So there's this percentile method, like in the CAT or something. So what really helps is the highest score in GRE and TOEFL and your CV. I mean, there is really no guarantee that if you have a high score in GRE and TOEFL that you'll get in. But at the same time, there is some place which will take it. So if you apply to 10 places, maybe there'll be one where you'll get in.
Then
And yeah, I mean, it's so let me just add to that. So I mean, these GRE and TOEFL are not dependent. Like your scholarship is not dependent on this. I mean, for most universities in the US, like if they select you, they're going to give you full funding, immaterial of what your score was in GRE or TOEFL. So you do not need to apply separately for funding in the US and Canada. So yeah, they are like completely separate.
then sir, if I'm applying for some colleges in US and Canada based on the qualifications, the qualifying marks of GRE or TOEFL, then how to secure the scholarship? Basically, because to study abroad, there is a what is the essential need is that of the scholarship. If I don't have the fellowship, then how to continue our studies in foreign? So, what
I
is
mean, that's the
essential?
thing. Yeah, I mean, like if they select you, they're going to give you with select you with a scholarship. I mean, they will give you a teaching assistantship or a research assistantship. So I don't think you need to apply anything specific for getting a scholarship. So yeah, does that answer your question?
Actually, what activity you want to say? So, on the time of application, I have to see where they are providing us in the scholarship.
It seems not clear to me. It's not that audible
I'm
to
not,
me.
yeah, I cannot hear you either.
No, so actually, I'm asking that if I apply for colleges based on the GRE, then at the time of admission, I have to follow the web page of that colleges that he is providing us the fellowship or not. And is it or something else?
Yeah, so no, I mean, like in the US and Canada, they will give you funding. I mean, if they're selecting you, they will send you an offer letter. They'll be stating the scholarship over there itself. So you do not really
Oh,
need to like check any further.
okay, thank you, sir. So one last,
Yeah.
one last question. Some scholarship you mentioned like DAD and the INLAC or the MEC. So how to apply for these actually? If you could give me some little insight of that one.
Yeah, I guess that we can like go through this slide, so that will help
Yes,
understand this
just
better.
one more question. There's a confusion about teaching assistantship in PhD in United States. So first, I should say that once you get an offer from United States, you are going to be a TA there. So you have to grade or teach a class or do something for a professor. So that is from this your stipend comes. The another option is to get an RSIP, which is the research assistantship. So research assistantship is basically with the professor. If the professor has money, then he or she will give you the funding out of it. So then you do not have to grade. You just have to do research and that's it. I guess I hope answer the question. Okay, so scholarships again. So there are some scholarships that you can apply for. One of them is Ascent scholarship, which is to this is during your masters. You can apply for this scholarship to go to United States or Canada, I guess, for a period of 3 months and do research with a professor in United States. So this is a very good opportunity to have an early exposure to research, and this looks also very good in your CV. So that is something that you can apply for if you are in masters and looking and trying to get abroad. And also I should say that it is highly competitive. So I do not, I mean, the university has to write a recommendation for you if you for this. So please contact your department and for this. And then there is MEXT scholarship for Japan. Then of course you know about NBHM scholarships, which are for masters and PhD. Yeah, so I guess so. This is to do PhD and master PhD in India, and I mean a lot of most of the universities in India take the students through NBHM. And then there is INLAC scholarship. I do not know what that is. Pratyush will
Yeah.
tell
So
you about it.
Yeah, I would just like to tell about the INLAC scholarship. So it's, I think, it's some Indian funded scholarship. I don't know it's based on donation or whatever the agency is, how they fund or whatever. But it's what I noticed is it's difficult to get funding from INLACs for people working in theoretical science. Like if you're going abroad for even theoretical physics or pure mathematics, like if you're something like then it's difficult to get INLAC scholarship. Actually, it's more for, I'm not saying you cannot get it, but if you go over like the recipient from last couple of years, then you will notice that it's more inclined towards arts students or arts people, or applied like people like who can really show their research in application or something like that. But I just mention it, Mike, like there's no harm in applying in case if you want to.
And then there is a DAT scholarship that we know of. This is for pursuing PhD in Germany. So I guess you have to apply for IELTS here. I am not sure. I do not really know about this one, but you can still enter into it. And then there is the Indian Noble. Yeah.
Let me just add for that scholarship. So you can get the DAT scholarship during the during your master's as well, but maybe for like 2-3 like it kind of works as an exchange program as well. So like during your PhD, if you want to go for like a 1 year like an exchange program or something, then your university can you can apply through your master's or like your PhD university, and if you get the scholarship, maybe you can just work as an exchange student for one or 2 years and then come back. So yeah.
And then there's Indian Overseas Scholarship. So what this does is this allows you to pursue a PhD in your required in the university that you like, if you get an acceptance, and you get an amount of 35 lakhs or something, or
16,000, I guess $16,000 per year.
So yeah, $16,000 per year. So you can convert the amount. So I guess this is a very good opportunity to get abroad and do your PhD, but you have to check into the requirements and see. I do not know like who all are eligible and who are not. I guess I leave it that to you. But this is so. I guess you do not really have to worry about the scholarship.
I want to add one point here. So in the UGC side, there are many collaborations with foreign institutes, like in Hungary, in Japan. So if students can search the UGC side, they can see what are the collaborations with Indian government. So they will provide you with the scholarships if you have any acceptance from foreign universities. I just add this one.
Yeah, sure.
That might be a good point, because this is something that we were unaware of.
Yeah, we didn't know about this one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that we can move on to the next slide.
Yeah. Okay. So the next one is.
Was there any question?
Books. Question.
So can you work? Probably not, because in the US.
No.
So because
I think it depends from country to country. Like in UK you can, but in US you can't. Like outside university you can't work, but in UK you can. So it depends from country to country. But I think it's not recommended to work outside during your master's or PhD.
Because like you'll be getting like enough funding. So I guess plus like in the US you'll not be allowed to work outside your university. So in the university you'll be working as a TA. So yeah, I mean in the US I don't think you'll be allowed.
And also at the same time, you do not really have a lot of time to work,
exactly,
because already PhD is already a full-time job. So you are not supposed to work during that time.
Yeah.
So Abhishek has a question, I guess.
Hello.
Yeah, hi.
If someone have done their BSc in a subject and MSc in a different subject, will it be difficult to get PhD in US or abroad?
Different subject in the sense from maths to physics or something?
Like BSc in mathematics and MSc in statistics or physics.
I guess it should be fine. Yeah, it should be fine.
Yeah, I mean, like,
I think it's fine. Yeah.
You'll be basically seeing that you have changed your subject from the undergrad to masters. I think you'll be planning to pursue your subject that you took in your masters as your PhD. So I guess you can just write about that, and that should be fine. That should not
it's better to while writing the SOP. It's better to create a bridge between the change area somehow. Try to relate the topic if you can
Yeah, yeah.
in some way.
And also maybe like try to like explain why you thought of shifting your subject and stuff. So I guess that should work out.
Yeah, but you can, yeah, of course you can change. There is
For
no
your
issue.
information, Ashani didn't do his master's anywhere. He did BSc from our institute and then went for PhD. Ashani Dasgupta. It is possible if you are a very good motivation, you can do it. Even if you don't have a master's. But that is very rare though. I know of many people who have gone there after BSc, including one of my nephews. I know. So, but that's not so easy. If you have a master's, it is easier. But you know, of your batch, Ashani didn't do his master's. What did he do his master's?
Right, sir.
So,
Thank you, sir.
Sir,
Yeah, hi. Yeah, Amit, please go ahead.
sir, in India, which university is best for the PhD student? If I want to doing my PhD in India, then what can I do for it? And what is the exam? What is the exam for it? I crack it.
So I mean, if you want to do a PhD in India, I guess you have to do NBHM. You have to go for NBHM PhD exams or GATE or CSR NET. Right? I guess most of the universities take students from there.
Yeah, I mean, like once you have like your GATE score and net score, then you'll have to like go through like all the IITs and IISERs because they conduct the exams of their own. So
Right.
you have to crack their own exam and then probably have an interview after that.
Yeah, and
So,
also
yeah.
in TIFR, you have to write their own written exam. And then
Right,
once you clear the written exam, you have to go for we have to go through another written exam on the day of the interview, and then based on that, they will select for your interview or not. And then you have to go through
I guess that pattern might change every year. Because
yeah, I do not know. Yeah, this was
so just
during my
look into
time.
that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like the list of exams like we covered in the previous slides. That was mainly CSIR, GATE, NVHM PhD, CMI, ISI, and yeah, after that, individual exams of the colleges. So yeah, any other questions over here?
How is TIFR compared to foreign universities? Rahul has a question.
I would say it's pretty comparable. It's pretty good if if you're getting into TIFR and have like, I don't know, depends on the department and where you want to work on, like which area you want to work on. But if you're getting into TIFR and like and some university in the US or Canada like which did not have people working in your area, I would suggest to join TIFR. You guys agree, Tattwa and Pratyush?
I am not sure because I do not know like how people fare up. I mean, how long people take to finish their PhDs and all that.
Well,
So you have to
that is
take
also
that into
interesting.
account. So
Yeah.
I am not sure actually. To be honest, you have to ask people studying there and then they decide upon.
in TIFR, they have only a few areas in which they work.
Right.
Nobody works in analysis.
Nobody works in analysis. Right.
So yeah. So sorry, sir. Please go ahead. You can complete what you're saying. Okay.
So yeah, that's I guess.
And then Ritank has a question. Some special advice for CMI MS in math entrance exam.
Prayag would be the best person.
Prayag, can you say about this one?
There's no special thing. You just, for any entrance exam, just prepare your previous year notes and like CMI on its website has like exact books that you have to work on. So that's it.
I guess once you are good in, like once you have solved problems from these basic books, then it should be good enough to go through most entrance exams. And then you have to of course do the previous year question papers. Jitendra has a question. Yeah, please go ahead. Oh, no.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, hi.
Hi, sir. Sir, in India, like if we clear CSIR net exam and if you are eligible for JRF, we shall do directly assistant professorship in relevant universities. Likewise, is there any opportunities in US or Canada without PhD? Shall we do assistant professorship there?
No, you cannot do that.
No, I mean, it's
No,
really competitive
yeah.
here. I mean, getting
Yeah.
a job after MSc, like into academic positions, is really difficult. I mean, it's also difficult to get like academic positions after PhD.
After
so,
PhD, even, yes.
So, I mean, even after PhD, it gets difficult. So,
Tata, sorry to interrupt. I would
Yeah.
like to add one point here for her question. In from July 25 in 2021, so there is no scope for joining as assistant professor without PhD. This is
Okay.
the new regulation, 2018 regulation. That
I
was
see.
that what she was asking. See, it was the previous guidelines, previous regulation. So from this date, July 2021, so one cannot join as an assistant professor without PhD, even if he or she has innate JRF.
okay.
So this is the new guidelines. So it is mandatory for all to do a PhD before coming as an assistant professor.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
I guess after
yeah.
masters, we want to like have no interest in like PhD and like get into a job or something. Then it's good to like look into industries. Yeah. So you can easily get into industries after you're doing a masters. So that is something that we have less experience about. So maybe like another seminar or something covering that would be really helpful. So yeah, I mean, Tattwa, I guess you can continue from here.
Yeah, okay. So we'd like to basically go over some books that are standard, and I guess we followed them, which are good enough, I guess. And once you do solve problems from one of these books, it should be fine for the entrance exams and for anywhere in the world. So for real analysis, there's Introduction to Real Analysis by Bartlett Salbert. I guess we all know this. Then there is, of course, the Bible, Walter Rudin, which is known as Baby Analysis. Introduction to Mathematical Analysis. I guess it is one of the very good books. I highly recommend solving problems from it. It should be good enough, right? I guess. And then there's another new book by Kumar and Ajit Kumar, which is called A Basic Course in Analysis. I'm not sure if you have seen it or not, but I guess there is a copy in the IMA library, if I'm not wrong. So it's good in the sense that the theorems are explained well, the steps are explained before proving it and why they are doing it. So it helps in clarifying the concepts. Then there's another book by Ross, which is this book is published by Springer. It is not very well known, but it is it is recommended in universities abroad. So it's called Elementary Analysis, the Theory of Calculus. And then there's a book that I like a lot, is called A Companion to Analysis by Coroner. It is a publication of American Mathematical Society, and it is termed as a graduate level book, but I believe you can still read it because it is very well explained, and the theorems are very highly motivated as to why the theorems are like that. The proofs are also very highly motivated. I guess we can look at it if you want to read it. Then S has a question. I do not know the name.
How
So
about
please go ahead.
Richard Bass? Richard Bass.
So I think that is a major theory book, if I'm not wrong, isn't it? Right?
It's an analysis book for.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
For graduate students.
Yeah, that is for graduate students. Yes. Yeah, I think it's if you are preparing for a prelim in major theory, Richard F. Bass' book is very good. That has a very lot of collection of problems. I personally like that book. Ace has a question again. Ace, please go ahead with the question.
Sir, in Analysis 1 and 2 were written by Terence Tao, is a premier book in analysis field. Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Go ahead.
So is a premier book, like I am reading this. It is very interesting. It is intriguing. Means very interesting. And what is the algebra book for in the same kind of inspiration? Can you suggest some?
We'll go over it.
So yeah, I guess Algebra 0, Chapter 0. There's a book by Algebra Chapter 0. Right? Algebra Chapter 0 by Alufi or something, right?
Alufi, yeah.
Yeah. So you can look into it if you like.
So we can also see that abstract algebra by Domit and Foote. That is also a very nice.
Yeah, that is also a very good book. Yeah.
Very good book.
It's also
So you
very
can
good.
go through.
No, hello, sir. I am asking the same standards, Terence-Tao standards.
I mean, I guess the standards will not be the same, right? I mean, the standards vary
Yeah.
from author to author. So,
Right.
so you cannot really find a book like that.
Okay, chapter 0 by?
Yeah, algebra chapter 0. By I guess if you search algebra chapter 0, it should be fine.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so we get to linear algebra now. The book that we really solved problems from was Linear Algebra Done Right by Axler. There's a solution manual as well, which is available online. Then there's a linear algebra by Friedberg. Sometimes it is also called in cell. This book is followed abroad, a very standard book. Has a lot of problems. It's just really good. Then there's another book by Fujian Zhang. It is called Matrix Algebra. So there are a lot of things about matrix inequalities. I guess this book is really helpful if you're appearing for exams like questions. So the questions in NBHM PhD and all that, those things can really be very easily solved if you are following the techniques from here. Then there's a standard book, Algebra by Michael Actin. I really like that book. I guess it is really a choice of it's a personal choice again. So what you have to do is basically pick a book and solve all the problems from beginning to the end, and that should be good enough. Okay, so we get to modern algebra.
So just to add, like G-Stang is also a good book.
Yeah.
I mean, if that is being followed in the university, that's pretty good. I mean, yeah.
True.
Yeah.
G-Stang also has a lot of has a series of lectures on MIT courseware website, so you can watch that as well if you like.
Yeah, I think
okay.
there are a lot of other books. I mean, and they are still coming. There are many people who are coming with many good books as well. So these are basically the list that we followed. So definitely there are many other great books as well. So these are not the sole books for these areas, but these are just the books that we followed. So that's why we thought to mention it.
Yeah. Princeton lectures, I do not really know. I mean, you can watch. I mean, there are a lot of lectures available on YouTube these days. You can just pick any and watch them. I mean, also NPTEL is one other site where a lot of lectures are there. Very good lectures. You can watch them as well if you like, and learn from those. Okay. So for modern algebra, like I said, algebra by Artin. Then there is standard Galilean book, Contemporary Abstract Algebra. We really followed this book. We solved almost all the problems from it. This is really very good to start with if you want to get the basics right. Then, like Sudhanshu has said, Abstract Algebra by Dummett and Foote. Then there's another book called A Course in Algebra by Winberg, another AMS publication. It's a very nicely written book and has a lot of examples. And of course, we all know about Topics in Algebra by Ian Huston, possibly outdated now, but we can follow it. And then, of course, like we said, Algebra Chapter 0 by Paolo Alofi. It's probably another AMS publication. So please look. I mean, you can just book one of those and do that. So Jatin has a question. Yeah, please.
Yes, sir. So how you make notes actually? Like these textbooks are really very hard actually initially if you solve them. So how you make notes for?
You do not really make notes out of it. I guess you all have to do is just understand. I mean, you remember the theorems and corollaries and all that by solving problems. So the more the number of problems you solve, the better your understanding gets. The better your. I mean, you remember the theorems as well, where to use them, how to use them. This also helps in the interviews.
Hello, sir.
Hi.
So please suggest a good book for alternate differential equation and partial differential equation for like NVSM exam and for CSR net exam, sir.
Yeah, we're getting into that.
Differential
We'll
equations.
comment.
Yeah, just the very next slide is differential equations. So I guess the ordinary differential equation book that we followed was the first one, which is ordinary differential equation with historical notes and applications by George F. Simmons. I guess the first 3 or 4 chapters are really enough if you're preparing from JAM and CSNet or something. I'm not sure. I don't remember now. It's been a long time. Yeah. Then there is an ordinary differential equation by book by Coddington. So and then another, the third book is really the one which is followed abroad, which is a book by Boyce and Di Prima, ordinary differential equation with boundary value problems. It's really a matter of test, like I said. I guess for partial differential equations, I do not really know. To be Professor Patnaik could know. Yeah.
Yeah, about PDE, there is a famous publication.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, and in ordinary differential equation, there is one called Brown, BRAUN, or ordinary differential equation with applications. It used to be available in India. I don't know if it is available now. It's a very good book. Ordinary differential equations. And partial differential equation, then, this, what's his name?
Yeah, forgot the name.
Folland.
Right, yeah. Folland is also a really good book, yeah.
Yeah, Folland is a very nice fellow. And I met him. He lives in Washington. And
right.
Seattle. So,
yeah.
That's a good book, Folland's book. And
also, yeah, I was saying the Chris Evans book by PD by Chris Evans also is a nice PD.
That's also a good book. Yes, very sure.
Okay, so I come to topology and metric spaces. There's a Kumar's book of topology of metric spaces is a really good book, very nicely written.
Oh, so there's one more question, like.
Yeah, Vital has a question. Yeah, please.
Yeah.
No.
Hello,
Vital.
I guess you can continue then, Dr.
Yeah, okay. So like I was saying, metric spaces and topology of metric spaces by Kumaresen is a really good book. Then basic topology by Armstrong. Again, a standard taken topology by Munkres, very standard, very nice book. Then there's another book which is called Topology Without Tears by Sidney and Morris. This is available freely in Google, and this is, I guess, very well written. Pratyush, I mean, I guess this is a highly motivated book. Like, it motivates the concepts really well without going into the details. So
yeah, it's really the last book is it's really a good book for starters.
Okay, so there may be some calculus that you need, like multivariable calculus, or so you can follow a book by Thomas and Feeney. This is calculus book, or basic multivariable calculus by Marsden, Tromba, and Winston. This is also available in the IMA library. Really good book. The only drawback is that it has answers only to the odd questions, so you cannot really check if your answer is correct or not. Then some amount of complex analysis would be needed, I guess.
Lang is a good book in multivariate analysis.
Yeah, that is also a good book. Yeah. Maybe a book by Fleming is also good. I do not know if it is there in the library or not.
Now this is the recent edition.
Yeah.
Because old edition we have seen, recent edition we have seen.
Yeah. And there is a book called Calculus, Volume 1 and 2 by Tom M. Apostle. Again, a very standard book.
It's an old book, though.
Yeah, it is an old book. Yeah.
That we used to follow in our days, but now.
So we used to follow that book.
Yeah, we used to follow that book. So. And then for complex analysis, there is a book, J. Back and D. Newman. This is written for the undergraduate level. Then Gemlin's book in complex analysis is also really good. Stein and Saccacci, they are the experts. Yes. Yeah. And then Stein and Saccacci also is a very nice book, very well written.
Stein and Saccacci is a very good.
Yeah. Okay, so then we'll just end with the problem solving books. So some of these books have a lot of problems. Just they are meant for problems. They will help you in learning the concept. So there's a book by that's AMS publication, Problems in Mathematical Analysis, Volume 1, 2, and 3, by Krakjer and Novak. Again, our library in IMA has it. Very nice book. Has a lot of problems. Has a lot of solutions are also available, so you can think about those problems and look in the solution if you like. And then Berkeley Problems in Mathematics, D'Souza and Silva. So this is a book that people follow when they want to prepare for their prelims in the universities. Really good book, has a lot of collections of problems from real analysis, algebra, topology, and from linear algebra. Also, the collection is there. And then there is a book, Problems in Linear Algebra, by Fujin Zhang. Has a lot of collection of problems from linear algebra. Really good book.
So I just want to add over here that the Fusion Zhang book is really good. I mean, there are a lot of problems over there, and plus it has got like a solution as well. So that really helped us understand like the complex problems that we face in like any entrance exam. So if you can actually go through it, the linear algebra section will be really clear to you guys. So yeah.
And also the greatness of the Fujin Zhang book is like you don't really have to know any concept. It teaches you actually with the problem. It teaches you the concept.
Yes.
So right away you just start solving the problem. So the book is designed in such a way that you will learn the concept at the end of each section. So yeah.
Okay, so we come to the list of useful sites. Some of these sites are like some of you asked a question on the comment I saw where you can ask a problem. So Math Stack Exchange is one of those sites where you can ask your math problem with your explanation as to what you have thought, and people will be able to help you out. Then there is another, okay, Pratyush will be able to tell you about the first site.
Yeah, so for the first kind, I find it really useful while applying to US universities. So like, you don't really know like which universities, well, there are QS ranking and there are many other rankings that universities have in the, like, if you Google like what is the rank of this university and that university, but none of them tell you like which university is best for your area or your area of interest. So this site really helps you to shortlist universities based on research interest, specific research interest like topology, differential equation, analysis, or algebraic statistics or whatever. So you just have to give the like level, select like level, like by level I mean masters or PhD and research area, and it also asks like if you are interested in number of PhD students who passed out in last 5 years. So it takes a detail and then it gives you the list of universities based on that. So in that sense, this is really helpful while applying to US universities based on your area of interest, because at the end of the day, that's what you need. You don't need the ranking of universities, right? I mean, it's fine, but what you need is a good environment where people from your area of interest are there, and you end up joining there or you end up applying there at least to start with. Yeah.
Okay, so then there is a job site. So if you are applying for mathematics jobs in United States and Canada, this is for really funded MSc and PhD positions, also for postdocs and permanent positions. So this is called mathjob.org. There you will find a list of all the jobs, mostly in US and Canada. Some of them, sometimes they have jobs from Europe and India as well. So you have to create an account and then apply through there. And then there's a WordPress blog by Terence Tao where he updates on his research and contains many expository articles, papers, discussions, and sometimes his notes as well. If you want to look at it, this is a very good site. Then there is a similar story for jobs in Europe. It's called euromathsos.eu. And then you can again, the master's and PhD positions are listed there. All you have to do is just create an account and then apply through there. I guess those are some of the useful sites that you may that may help you if applying. I guess that brings us to our conclusion of this presentation. Finally,
you see, incidentally, let me remind, the Institute of Affairs and Applications had an exchange program with the University of Western Ontario, Canada, where undergraduates or research scholars could visit. But unfortunately, not many undergraduates are willing to go there for a year. That means that under that program, you could spend 1 year in a semester, one semester in one of the universities and come back. And with their grades, you will be here. That was, the undergraduates didn't go, only one research fellow went there, and he came back with an accident, so not many people were, but we can revive that arrangement to have that exchange program. Okay.
Yeah, that would be really great.
Yeah.
Mrigank has a question. No.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Sir, I wanted to know about Steen-Shakarchi book, like how it is about complex analysis.
It is a really good book. If you want to read it, it is really great.
Yeah, like
it has
there are a lot of like means a lot of people. I have heard that it's a very high level book, and just like there was about Rudin, but we read it and it was a good book. Rudin was a good book, so I think Steen-Shakarchi is also good like that.
People say a lot of things, but I mean their opinions are theirs. I mean, it is, you should form your own opinion and see if the book is good or not.
So like, can I read it in the first go, like without?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Steen-Shakarchi, you can read easily. That's no problem. You can start from the beginning and go to the highest. Of course, people have forgotten another book, Alfors, Alfors, AHLFORS, has a book on complex analysis. That's also, from the beginning, it goes to a very high level. But it starts with actually just definition of complex numbers. That's also a nice book. You can see.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Beetle has a question. Beetle, please go ahead.
So, actually, what is about the scholarship exam? Once when we are eligible, once they are ready to, pursue, once they are ready, availing us to do PhD in the particular state, and that moment we have to apply scholarship, or we must be ready with the scholarship exam eligibility in India itself. Like I don't know.
Sorry, I didn't understand the question. So what do you mean? Like you're applying abroad or in India?
In abroad.
So
scholarship eligibility is must in India itself. Like in India, you have to be eligible for that, and after that you have to apply for abroad, or just you apply it in abroad, and after that you got the eligibility, then you can try for scholarship in such a way.
So basically, for Indian overseas scholarship, the requirement is that you have to have a university which is willing to take you. Then only they will give you the funding. For others, I am not sure about the college. So again, SN Bose is just one-time scholarship. It just allows you to go abroad for 3 months. So you just apply for the scholarship, and the university is given to you.
Yeah, for abroad, I would say you don't really need to worry about the scholarships because they'll be fully funded if they select you, especially in US and Canada. So yeah, I mean, I don't think you'll require. I mean, it's good to have a scholarship, international scholarship, but it's fine. I mean, you can just it's very well stay with the salary that you get over here as a TA.
Yeah, for US and Canada, you don't have to worry about funding or anything. You just have to apply to the universities. The scholarship is mainly for other places like in Europe and mainly in Europe.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Peter has a question. Yes, yeah.
Sir, I have a MSc in mathematics. Hello, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead.
I have MSc in mathematics. I am interested in for PhD in analytic number theory. So I am interested with work with Don Jagier, who is in Max Planck Institute in Germany, or Ken Eno under who is in Emory University. So can you please tell the steps? And one more question is, before entering PhD, I want to publish a paper in an international journal. Is it if it's possible? What is the steps? Thanks.
I mean, first to apply for to work with them, I guess you have to email them and tell them that you are interested in working with them, and then see if they are willing to take you or not. That's the first step.
It is really competitive. So I mean, depending on which area you want to work, just find a professor and like mail them and like stating your CV and your research work, and see what they say. Because Max Planck, Emory, I'm not really sure. But
and for Emory again, Emory, I guess you have to apply for GRE and TOEFL.
Yeah, like I guess you have to go through the same process.
Yeah.
So, in analytic number theory, there are two professors in Canada, Kumar Murthy and Ram Murthy.
Right.
Okay.
Both are analytic number theory people. They are of Indian origin. You can contact with them, but then you have to produce an evidence that you have done something in that area, or you are so good that they will take you. They'll but take you. I know so many of our boys have gone there. Kumar.
Okay, sir. So
yeah.
I want to publish a paper in at least a national journal or international journal.
So I mean, to publish a paper, I guess you have to first you have to have a result that is worth publishing.
No. I had a MSc degree in mathematics. I to publish a paper, I need to collaborate with some faculty that I am interested to work. My question is, I need to collaborate. I need to ask the faculties to collaborate them like that. Or I can publish like that.
Well, you can publish on your own if you want. I mean, as long as you have a result that is worth publishing.
If it is a result like that, send it to what do you call as this, well, send it to a good journal or that what do you call it? This online. What's that called?
So is it talking about Arxiv? ARXIV dot
archive.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, if you have something nice, you can just put it there, and people will definitely know about it.
So my question, if I don't have something there, means I don't have till now some not like that there. If I want to make something, some good paper, so I need to ask the faculties if he is interested to work to teach me like that, or
no, you can work on your own. I mean, my point is you can do work on your own if you're like you don't need anyone's help. Like you can you select your own questions and and you can do it on your own. That's not an issue. Yes.
So the other way is what I can do. You can visit some professor for 1 month or 2 months. So there you can discuss, you can share your ideas, or you can talk about some problems. If you can proceed further, then you can go for a research paper. Okay?
No, best thing is if you're interested in number theory, then there is a book in our library called Unsolved Problems in Number Theory. Try one of them. You won't, I'm sure you won't be able to solve it just like that, but in the process you might get some results.
Richard Guy is the author. Unsolved Problems in Number Theory. Our guy.
Okay. So if you have tried, have you got any results? If you have, then there is nothing like it. You send it to anywhere, they will publish. But you can put it in the net if you want. Okay.
So yeah, if anyone has any more questions, we'll be happy to take them. And of course, like we'll be just a minute.
Okay.
So we just wanted to say that like there are a lot of questions about the slides, so we'll be sending the slides to Indra.
Yeah, that I'm vaccinated.
Indra can just forward it to you. So yes, sir, please go ahead.
So we can put that slide in our website, IMA seminar website. You can download from there. It
Great,
is
so that'll be
accessible
great.
for all, because we have not enough email IDs. Now there are many participants from other institutes actually. So we
Okay,
cannot forward them. So they can download from our institute. They can visit our institute. They can download.
great,
That
sir,
is the
great.
way. Okay. Also, you people can give your email IDs in that slides so that they can communicate with you.
Sure, sir.
Yeah,
Sure, sir. We'll
also,
give it.
also you can get from our YouTube channel. We will give the link of PPT. You can get from there.
So yeah, I mean,
Sir,
if
may I
there
ask a
are,
question?
please go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, sir, suppose I want to apply for masters abroad after my undergraduate. So will my previous academic record, like from class 12th, affect my applications in any way?
I don't think so personally.
It depends. It's like this. If you want to apply for, there is no master's program in USA as such. You join a graduate program. Initially, you can do your MS or you get an MS by passing your comprehensive. Then after that, you proceed for PhD depending on your performance in the comprehensive. So you have to join their graduate program. Graduate program doesn't mean it is undergraduate program. Their graduate program is what you call in India as postgraduate program. But then to go there, you need to have good GRE score and or if you have really got a good publication, then there is nothing like it. They will take you just like that. So if you have a publication in a good journal, there is nothing like nobody can stop you.
Right, sir. So just to add on what sir said, so basically the way it works over here is that they have 4 years of undergrad over here, and then they start their graduate program. So
Exactly.
they do not really have a master's program, but once
But
after.
ours is a 3 years graduate program. That's undergraduate program, which is why they usually don't take you for a graduate program you straight away.
Right.
Usually they hesitate, but they don't mind if your scores are very good. Like Ashani, he didn't have master's or anything more than 3 years, but still he could go for PhD. That's possible. I know of many people who have gone there after just undergraduate. You can do it, but then you have to be that good. If your GRE scores are really good, you might. And your recommendation, then you might get it. I'll tell you one of my experience some 50 years ago. One of the boys who in my MSc class, I found him to be really interested in math. So I asked him, would you like to go to US? He smiled. I didn't say. Then I asked him again, would you go to US? He said, my condition is so bad. Even to continue my MSc here, I have to borrow and do these things. And how can I go to US? I said, that is another issue. If you want, you do it. Then I got the forms for him. In those days, there was nothing like online. It was in 1975, 76. So I got the forms, filled up his forms for him because he didn't know how to fill. Send it with a recommendation. He got it. Then only thing is he had to get a passage because passage money they won't give you. So they gave him the passage. I arranged the passage for him through a bank. He went there, did his PhD. He is now a professor in USA. He is there. You can ask him. His name is Om Agarwal. I can give you his email ID if you want. So this is possible. Of course, that is many years ago, 1975 till today. This is how many years?
So yeah, we have one more question. Please go ahead.
So, session will stop or will continue?
So like just to give, let's give 5 more minutes. Like if there are any more questions, we can just answer them. Otherwise, can end.
So I guess Deva Prasanna Kara was asking about how to go for a postdoc abroad if you're after pursuing a PhD in India. So what you have to really do is have good research, and then you have to apply through mathjobs.org to get into to apply for the jobs abroad.
Yeah,
in
MathJobs
US
is a
and
very
Canada.
good source, like site for knowing about the posts available. So yeah, that'll be a good place to start with.
Yeah, Mrigan has a question.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. In India, we don't have any good college for doing any good research work in mathematics.
Oh,
yeah, I mean there are a lot.
Many institutes are there. CIFR is there. Tata Institute of Fundamental Research is there. Institute of Mathematical Science, Chennai is there. CMI is there. HRI is there.
Exactly.
So either now there are many now in Bhubaneswar, Niger is there.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Then we are only talking about international institutions. So I thought we don't have any in India.
No.
Yeah, these are all international institutions actually. Like you will find Niger has collaboration, I think, with some universities abroad, and people come there for giving talks, and yeah, these are like renowned research institutions, not only in India but abroad. Yeah, Indian Institute of Science.
The reason
But all the procedures, all the examination we have already discussed now how to go for a PhD in India.
So that's what. So like
already we
we're
have
just
discussed.
focusing
So we are
on
just
abroad because
yeah.
like process in India is pretty straightforward. So just give the entrance exams and give
right.
their interview, and that should be fine.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So another way of doing, suppose you have not cracked any of the national level test in India, then what you can do? There are many professors of many projects actually. So you can visit the websites of different IITs and IJRs. So they have project. They are advertising their project. If they want to hire a student who have completed PG in mathematics or statistics or any subject. So you can, if you are lucky enough, you can find, if you find that advertisement, then you can apply, you can go for an interview. So they will give you the salary, or you can call it as a fellowship. You will work on that particular project. So it is also applicable that you can go through the PhD program through that project. There is also a way. So if you are unable to crack any national level test, this is another way to go into that PhD program.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, there are a couple of questions.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, sir, I want to ask. Sir, my question is like how to prepare for interviews. Means there are many students who are selected after written tests, but they get rejected during interviews, like for TIFR. So, like, is there something that we need to do, especially for interviews from now onwards? Like now, I will finish my second year of BSc.
I think among us, Prayag and Tattwamasi, they have given a lot of interviews in India as well. So maybe they will be better to guide in that question.
I mean, I guess for interviews, I guess they will ask you questions. I mean, all you have to do is ensure that your concepts are good. I mean, and sometimes they'll ask you about counter examples as well. I mean, there's not a single. I mean, there's no method as to how to do it. It's just, I guess, your day or not your day. I can say that. Or else, yeah. I mean, that is exactly the, because that is the thing with interviews. I mean, there's no really way. There's no definitive way to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Sir, excuse me, sir. I have a question. Sir, if in India, if you do not MPhil in mathematics, then can I have a lectureship in other countries?
Oh, no, I didn't get your question.
Yeah, me neither. Sorry.
Can you please repeat?
Yes, sir. If we do not MPhil in mathematics,
No, MPhil is
can
not
we?
MPhil is not necessary.
Yeah,
Yes,
MPhil
sir.
is not.
Yes, sir.
And in
Even
new
the
new
PhD.
in new guidelines, there is no MPhil program also.
So, sir, in this case, I want to know about MPhil. MPhil is most important or not?
I mean, there is no
In a
MPhil program, like Sudhantu sir said. In the new guidelines of UGC, there is no MPhil program now.
Thank you,
National
sir.
educational policy. In this new policy, there is no MPhil program from this academic year.
All right, it seems that there are no more questions.
Yeah.
Sir,
Yeah. Yeah, please go ahead.
sir, once we got eligibility to do our PhD in US or Canada, then do they provide visa on their side, or that has to be
No,
done
you
by
have
us
to apply on your own.
using the eligibility, like they are
Yeah.
Yeah, they
calling
will
for
send you the
okay, okay.
documentation. Yeah,
They'll
they'll
send
send
you
you the
an
documentation.
I-20 form. They'll send
Yeah.
you an I-20 form. And
Yeah.
on basis of that, you apply to the local consulate for a visa.
Okay. Okay, thank you, sir.
The process is very smooth once you get an offer, so you'll keep getting the mail, and yeah, it's not that difficult. I mean, university will send the document, and you will do accordingly the process, and yeah.
There is some question in the chat box. Can you just reply?
So there are a lot of questions we are getting. I'm losing track of them. So
There is a lot of advertisement for projects at the PhD level. Do we have the same at the level of undergrad? I'm not. No, I don't think so. I mean, for undergrad, I guess you can write to the professors directly and tell them that you are interested in working with them, and then see what they say. That is.
Okay, so
And then
I
a
think there is
recording
one
of
more.
today's session. Yeah.
Sorry. I think there is one more question that, sir, can you please put more emphasis on preparing for NBHM, IIT JAM, ISI, apart from studying in groups?
So I just
studying in
replied over
groups.
there. Yeah, I mean, Pratyush, you want to continue? Just continue. Please continue.
Okay, so I think studying in groups is something that we find really useful, and it is useful actually, like as per my experience so far. But you can study. I mean, mathematics is a teamwork, I believe. I mean, if you divide things among groups, then definitely the problems eases, right? So when you learn, the best way to learn mathematics is by teaching. I mean, that's what someone said. So when you discuss things with people, and you basically discuss your ideas, so it's kind of a informal teaching, I would say. So in that way, like it's really useful. I mean, to form a group. I don't know. Maybe Tattwa and Pratik would like to add something. Then yeah, they can.
Yeah, I mean, apart from forming a group, I would say the best way to prepare for exams is like to solve the previous year questions. That will give you a idea of the pattern of the questions that come up, and yeah, I mean, like solve some best way to crack some exam is like solve all the problems that you can find.
Yeah.
There's no other alternative to it, I would say.
So my suggestion on this in this regard is, whenever you are suppose you are in BSc second year, you are doing you are studying one subject, suppose linear algebra. Whenever your teacher teaches a subject or a content, you go through the exercise part of that content. If you will continue to this job, then things will be more easy at the finally for the and before the examination also. So for doing mathematics, for learning mathematics, doing mathematics is necessary. So you have to solve your mathematics problem every day, so that you can develop your skills, mathematical skills. So how to approach a problem, how to solve a problem. So that is the first thing. So that's why they are discussing that you can study together, in a group discussion, so that different boys have different ideas. So you can approach a problem in different directions. So that will be more more in that sense you can say that whenever you are not able to solve the problem in one direction, so you can do in other directions also. So it is not necessary to remember all the theorem proofs. It is necessary to remember the results and apply that results to solve the problems. In examination, like in national level test, no theorem proofs will come, only problems will come. You have to solve the problems using the ideas or results which you have studied in your subjects. Like your in linear algebra, you have studied how to find a rank of a matrix. So there are many ways you have to find your rank. So you one you have to learn how to find the rank. Nobody you just try to discuss with other how you are trying to find the rank of a matrix. So this type of questions you can ask yourself also. Yes. So learning mathematics means doing mathematics. So you can make, it is better to in a group discussion, so that you can solve more problems also. However, initially what they discuss, like 5 persons, 4 persons, 5 problems is. So in a day they are solving 20 problems. So that is the benefit.
So I just wanted
Also,
to add something
yeah,
seen from the
please.
chats. So I see a lot of people in undergrad saying that they have this and that research interest. So I would say, I mean, it's good to have an interest, but you're still early. It's still in early stages. So I would say just focus on all the subjects that you're learning in any undergrad. I mean, you'll get your time to get into your particular field, but it's really important to have the basic knowledge that you get in the undergrad. So it's good to have a favorite subject that if you want in your undergrad, but please do not neglect all of the other subjects just to learn that particular one that you are interested in. At least not at least in the undergrad. In your master's level or PhD, obviously you'll be doing a lot more pinpointed work. So that's the best time to focus on them, but not in the undergrad. And undergrad, I would say focus on all subjects equally.
Just to add on Pratik's point, I think currently the research in math is not really in one direction. You really use a lot of others. So for example, you can use, if you're working in analysis, you can use the ideas from abstract algebra, probability, ergodic theory, wherever. So you should really know everything nowadays and not focus on only one thing. And then also to add on Sudhanshu sir, what Sudhanshu sir said, so it is advantage to work in a group, because you learn how to work in a team as well at the same time, and a lot of research is now collaborative, so you work with others in research as well. So it is important that I mean, of course you can always work alone, but it is important to know how to work in a team at the same time. It's just something that helps in the future.
Also, I would like to add one more thing. I think in the one of the questions from Indra's email that we got is what are more prospects of area of research in analysis or in algebra. There was some question like that. So I think there is nothing such. I mean, basically in research you need everything. Like in current days research, you need like algebra analysis and many more things as well. So currently at the level of bachelor's, I would say it's not recommended to concentrate on one area of research. You should focus on everything, like topology, differential equation, algebra analysis, and try to get do problems and try to build concept. And you should be crystal clear at the basic level at all these areas. So you should not think anything as of now for what you want. I mean, it takes time to decide the research interest actually. For me, it took me after masters, I would say, or maybe by end of my masters, I kind of thought I would do this thing. So it takes time to decide the research interest, and because the thing is, it takes time to learn subjects in mathematics. Things are not that not that I won't say easy, but yeah, I mean, things are not that easy or not that convenient like other areas of math, science, like in chemistry, physics. Just go over some article and you decide that that you find fascinating or something. In mathematics, you have to do something to know what the area is actually, and in order to do it, it takes time. So it takes time to decide the area of research area or interest. So yeah, that's what I want to add.
So yeah, I guess it's been like 17 minutes over time, so I guess it's a good time
so
to
let's stop.
wrap up the session.
So yeah, I guess thanks to the organizers for inviting us, and it's great to give a talk on this.
Thank you.
So it is a very good discussion actually. So I think many of the students who have attended, they will be benefited. So I thank all of your time. So you have given. So I thank you all for. And I also thank Indra sir for organizing, or you're talking about all these things to arrange this seminar. So with this, let's clap for the speaker, and we'll wrap up this session.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Okay, see you guys. So let's.
See you.
So